Welcome. My name is Amber Smith, and on behalf of Evolving in Education, I want to welcome you all and thank you for joining our Mindfulness, Fitness, Wellbeing Focus Group meeting. So I started Evolving in Education about 9 months ago when my children were nearing school age. I have 4-year-old twins, and I learned of Montessori education. Then I learned of Forest School and Waldorf School, IB School, etc. And I got to researching and I found out that there's actually public Montessori schools. And so I set out with a goal to try to make Montessori schools accessible to all children. And then I quickly, figured out why don't we try to combine all the holistic pedagogies from around the world and inform them with brain science and mindfulness and etc. So that's my story and how Evolving in Education came to be. If you guys would like, we could quickly go around the room and introduce whoever would like to introduce yourselves is welcome to. So, and we don't have to do that if you guys wouldn't like to do that today.
I was going to give people a minute to jump ahead of me. I'm also going to just try to make my Wi-Fi a little better for a minute.
All righty. So, Ben, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yep, well, I'm Ben. I'm just I'm working on my own project as well, and sort of joining teams a little bit with Evolving in Education. Yeah, I'm sort of working around the mental health, brain science stuff, brain-computer interfaces. It's pretty exciting, yep. And just in the process of putting a presentation together so I can hopefully get 1,800 hours of free work to build my project. So that's all good. I got so I recently got so I'm working on that. I just got the call back, Amber, to say you can come to Auckland and do a presentation in front of the students, and then they get to decide which project they want to choose. So fingers crossed, I'll get some students working on my project next week, hopefully.
Very cool.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Ben. All right. So anyone else would like to introduce themselves? If not, we'll move on.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear more about your project then. I'm Elvira, and where should I start? When you were saying Montessori and Waldorf, I have had some experiences with both of those as a teacher, and in fact, quite a few years ago, I taught a little workshop called Waldosori about blending those two together, and I've been mostly a homeschool teacher and coach for most of my career. And in the last 3 or 4 years, I've been branching out to be a parent coach and teen mentor. I really saw that with homeschool families that the got in the way of the homeschooling, and people would stop homeschooling when their kids got a little older and power struggles developed. So that's been my parents for the teen years. And this whole thing about mindfulness and brain research has been a real interest of mine. So that's why I really was keen to drop in and see what you're doing today. Yeah.
Fascinating. Great. Well, thank you for sharing. It seems like your internet is cutting out a little bit, but I love the Waldorf that you're talking about. I'd love to discuss that further, but if it's all right with you, we will move on to our brief presentation we have today. I created this presentation using Pitch. It's a fun little app, and I'm new to the whole technology thing, so I hope you guys will forgive my noviceness of it. All right, so let's hide the panel. That didn't work. All right, empowering students globally. Can everyone see this? I'm guessing that you guys are on mute.
Mhm.
Yes. All right, cool. The power of mindfulness in education. Improved focus and learning. Mindfulness enhances attention and concentration, optimizing learning outcomes. Emotional regulation cultivates self-awareness, fostering emotional balance and resilience. Reduce stress, mitigates stress levels, creating a calm and positive learning environment. Gyrification of the brain promotes structural changes in the brain, increasing cortical thickness and neural connectivity. Enhanced well-being. Mindfulness nurtures mental well-being, promoting a positive mindset and overall happiness. The power of fitness. So I'm going to note that for the purpose of this presentation, when we say fitness, we're referring to heart pumping exercise. Okay, so fitness boosts brain power, enhances cognitive function, memory, and attention span. BDNF stimulates brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF release, promoting brain health and neural growth. Improved mood, it reduces stress, anxiety, and depression, fostering a positive learning environment. Increased focus, energizes students, improving focus and engagement in the learning process. Healthy habits, instills the importance of an active lifestyle for lifelong well-being. So let me try to get rid of this. Okay. So, the synergy of mindfulness and fitness. Benefits of combining mindfulness and fitness. Promotes holistic well-being, increases self-awareness and self-compassion, maximizes the benefits of both practices. Combining the two maximizes benefits of both mindfulness and fitness. Integrating mindfulness and fitness practices. Cultivating mindfulness during physical activities. Focus on breath and body sensations, developing a mind-body connection. Implementing mindfulness fitness programs, collaborative efforts between educators, health professionals, and communities, integration into school curricula, providing mindfulness and fitness resources and training, creating supportive environments for practice. Examples of successful programs, mindful movement classes, yoga and meditation sessions, fitness challenges with mindfulness components. And we have a couple more programs we'll discuss after this during our panel discussion. Mindfulness, fitness, and well-being in teaching. Mindfulness promotes self-awareness and focus through breathing exercises, mindful listening, and gratitude practices. Fitness, energize students with movements, breaks, and physical activities to enhance their physical well-being. Well-being, foster a positive classroom environment with open communication, self-care practices, and social emotional learning activities. Integration, Integration, seamlessly incorporate mindfulness, fitness, and well-being into the curriculum, exploring cross-curricular connections. Benefits, enhances student engagement, focus, and overall well-being while fostering healthy habits for life. Got a couple student testimonials here. So one student said, I feel more focused and confident in my studies after practicing mindfulness during our gym class. Another student said, mindful yoga has helped me manage my stress and improve my overall well-being. I'm more engaged in school now. Also, through fitness challenges with mindfulness, I've learned the importance of listening to my body and taking care of my mental health. Global collaboration for a brighter future. The importance of collaboration in spreading mindfulness fitness programs. Sharing best practices and resources, learning from diverse cultural perspectives, creating a global network for support and inspiration, and empowering the next generation to thrive while paving the way for a future filled with promise and opportunity. Take action for a mindful future. Help evolving in education to make a difference. Support and promote mindfulness and fitness initiatives in schools and communities. Share knowledge and resources with educators and health professionals. advocate for the inclusion of mindfulness and fitness in education policies and in communities. Together, let's create a bright future for the next generation. Thank you all for joining. We have this, this is coming soon. Our website is just about to roll out, about got it finished. But if you'd like to contact us in the meantime, you can get a hold of us at evolvingineducation@gmail.com, or you can take a picture of this handy QR code and it'll take you to our Facebook page. So here we have a quote. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. That's Nelson Mandela. Thank you all for joining. Now it's time for our panel discussion. So during this panel discussion, if you guys would like to share your thoughts on that, any questions. Also, we will discuss sharing success stories and experiences in implementing mindfulness, fitness, and well-being programs, in addition to discussing challenges faced and strategies to overcome those challenges. So thank you guys. Hope that wasn't too long of a presentation there, but I will share a couple more programs successfully being implemented into schools. There's the mindfulness-based stress reduction in schools, MBSR. Several schools have implemented the MBSR program, which introduces mindfulness practices to students and teachers. I looked up on the NIH, National Institute for Health. I looked this up, the MBSR, and I found a study where they tested the efficiency of the MBSR it was a school embedded pilot study, and they found that it greatly benefited both the teachers and the students, the mindfulness-based stress reduction. So I'm glad to see, that research is already out there being done. Additionally, there is a yoga and mindfulness in elementary schools initiative, mindful breathing in exam preparation. So when I was researching this today, I came across something where it talks of how to actually practice mindful breathing. I've heard a lot about mindful breathing, but I always thought it was going to be more complicated, kind of like the Soma breath or something like that, which I don't even know that that's that complex. But anyway, I found out that mindful breathing can be as simple as inhaling for 2 seconds through your nose, holding for 1 second, and then exhaling for 4 seconds through your mouth. And this is random, but I would like to practice that twice if you guys would do it with me. So inhale through our nose for 2 seconds, hold for 1 second, and then out through our mouth for 4. Once more, in through your nose for 2 seconds, hold for 1, and then exhale. And that is mindful breathing. Additionally, so the mindful breathing in studies conducted in universities, they reported reduced anxiety levels, improved focus, and better performance during exams. Mindful breathing helped them stay present, calm their nerves, and enhance their cognitive abilities. So I think that's definitely something worth looking into to help children better regulate themselves and enhance their cognitive abilities. So we've got 2 more, mindfulness-based interventions for at-risk youth. I wasn't able to find that much information on this. From what I can see, is there's not quite enough research yet, but hopefully, that will change. And then well-being programs for teachers. Schools that prioritize teacher well-being have seen positive effects on student outcomes as well. All right, so that is what we have for that. Anyone would like to add anything to any of that?
Just, excuse me, you said the mindful breathing. So what we did there, just that breathing, and mindfulness is just being aware of the breath. So it doesn't really matter the ratio so much. The ratios are important in different ways, but that mindfulness is just being aware of the breath. So you can breathe, you can sort of have your eyes closed and just be doing natural breathing, but be aware of the breath, and that's still mindful breathing. So when you start doing the ratios, that's where you start dictating to the autonomic nervous system, if you know what I mean. So yeah, mindfulness is just being aware, and that's sort of the timings are sort of what you use to sort of get certain results, I'd say, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, cool.
that's great. Thank you. So you could actually just sit there and think about your breathing, and that's
Yeah,
mindfulness.
because mindfulness is same as if you're making a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, just being aware, I'm grabbing the cup, I'm pouring the water. That's being mindful. So mindfulness is just being aware of what's going on, and you're either on your mind, or so if you get thoughts, either another mindfulness is if you're just with your eyes closed, and you can feel like, I'm stressed or anger or happiness. You can go, being mindful is just being, I'm mindful of that's the emotion that's actually happening. It's anger or it's happiness, it's sadness. So mindfulness is just sort of being aware. So yeah, but you can do mindfulness breathing, which is just you're being mindful of your attention is focused on the breath, sort of thing, if that sort of makes sense.
Yes, being aware without judgment, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's important to point out that mindfulness is anything that extends the gap between stimulus and response, is what I've been
I like that one.
Yeah. And it is, MRI scans have shown that mindfulness increases cortical thickness in the brain through purification, which is, I think, just phenomenal. And like monks and whatnot have been practicing it for years. They put monks, like I think we had this discussion at another meeting, in the MRI machines, and you could see that. I think, yeah, we had this, didn't we, Ben, where we talked about they've been practicing, some of them have been practicing it for decades, but that those results can somewhat be achieved through different practices in a shorter amount of time. Was that what had we discussed?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, with modern technology as well. Yeah, we can really sort of accelerate those results.
Yes. Back to the fitness bit. I really am fascinated by what Dr. Lee Raz, our head neuroscientist, she did a dynamic presentation at our first developmental neuroscience psychology focus group meeting. And she shared with us the BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is released through heart pumping activity. And that gets, as she puts it, it gets the brain prepped and primed to learn. She told us about an initiative that's implemented, I think she said in the UK. I think it's called the Daily Mile. It's where schools have students, you've heard of it? Oh, cool. They run around the school a mile before it starts, and they sit down, they're focused and alert and prepped and primed to learn. So I can't wait to see that incorporated in, hopefully we can get that incorporated into our curriculum here, into the school day.
Yes, I was wondering about that. Like, I don't know, what if, I think there would have to be also information for the students about how, like some pep talk about, I don't know, I was imagining like students not enjoying the run, and then how would that affect their,
Yes.
even though they might mentally be ready, but.
Yes. Definitely a goal of evolving in education is to educate students, empower them, and hopefully get them excited about taking their own health into their hands. And I think, any kid, if they learn that if good nutrition helps their brain cells, and exercise can make them learn better, or even potentially more intelligent. That's another thing with mindfulness, the gyrification, the cortical thickness or cortical folding in the brain, it's tightly coupled with focus and intelligence. So I think that's fascinating. And it doesn't have to be running a mile. It could be biking, you could do jumping jacks, you could swim. Find ways where your children enjoy it, like let's say a game of tag, something like that, game of basketball, whatever, soccer, any kind of, just something they like. You definitely have, you do definitely, and I know there's children that with special needs that can't get up and run or do stuff like that. So we'd have to figure out how to involve them, as how to have it benefit them as well, if
That's
possible.
true.
I would like to.
Yeah. Well, that kind of reminds me of like in Waldorf, forever they have been really big on doing movement in the classroom. Whether it's like stomping and clapping, different rhythms to different rhymes, walking around the classroom, different things to get the cross brain, working both hemispheres. And I think that's interesting.
For sure. And that is what like mindfulness does. It activates the right hemisphere of the brain. And like you said, getting both hemispheres of the brain interacting, that made me think of this cool video I saw. It's like a developmental brain activity in which they did exercises like this, where you go like this and like this. And it looks easy, but it can be tricky. And this one's weird. Like this. And it allows the right and left
all these brain gym. And it's I'm looking at my reflection. That's hard.
I think that's fascinating. You do those exercises with children, and it engages both hemispheres of their brain, and the potential, the benefits are transformative. So I'd like to see some of that incorporated in someday, hopefully, as well. I think that would be phenomenal. And the potential for the mindful fitness, like to fitness challenges with mindfulness, that I think that's fascinating. I recently learned of that. There was one other thing, it fell out of my head. Oh yeah, the vagus nerve. Are you familiar with the vagus nerve, Elvira?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit,
That's highly fascinating and that's what's stimulated through mindfulness. And it's the mechanism through which your body communicates, your gut brain axis. That's how your gut communicates with your brain and vice versa.
And so the mindfulness, as I understand it, it can kind of reset to a parasympathetic nervous system. So your vagus nerve is part of doing that, and having more, like getting out of the fight and flight reaction and going to the rest and digest part of it.
Yes, relaxation response. It's directly related to your body's stress response and blood pressure, etc. I've heard studies, or I've heard a testimonial from a person. The way I've found out about the vagus nerve, someone posted on Evolving in Education's mindfulness, creating mindful awareness group chat about the vagus nerve, and he said that he wasn't able to walk. He was highly depressed, couldn't get out of bed for years, and then they installed some stimulator on his vagus nerve, which sends it a jolt every once in a while, and now he's doing things he never thought he would.
Wow.
But he could. I mean, that's
yes. I'm sure that a lot of the lack of concentration or focus and anxiety that our kids are dealing with a lot, that's just part of the go daily activity. And then they're just always in this, like little bit of anxiety, a little bit of stress, and that, not getting to reset. And it just taxes
left brain. We stay functioning on our left hemisphere. Most people only go into the alpha brainwave frequency, which is like the meditation, what you achieve when you meditate. Most people only go into that, either when they're daydreaming, which is great, or when they pass from awakeness to a sleep, and vice versa. Because I think it's like for 5 minutes after you wake up in the morning, you're in alpha. That's also the best time to practice mindfulness.
I was a big daydreamer as a kid. So
that me too.
That explains a lot.
Yes, for sure. And like the geniuses of the world, like the difference between genius mentality and lay mentality is that geniuses use more of their brain and use it in a special manner. And anyone can use more of their brain. They just have to access it, the right side of it. And through mindfulness, I mean, that's how we create geniuses, you know, like the potential is unlimited, I believe.
So have you guys, anyone here heard of positive intelligence? The
No.
book and program? Yeah, it's came out of a study that was done by this guy who, he has a lot of different background, but he worked as a coach with a lot of CEOs, and but his idea, and I love the term positive intelligence, because it's like he did this research and really combined a kind of like, it's a meta-analysis of all this different research, and he really like breaks it down into the simplest, you know, looking at factor analysis of what are the main details of positive psychology and neuroscience and behavior, cognitive behavior work, and combining those three. And the definition of positive intelligence is it's the amount of time that you're able to have your mind or your brain working constructively for you, instead of just being in some, you know, negative bias loop, or reoccurring thoughts, or just, you know, not being productive. Not that productivity is the thing, but it's just that, yeah, just being able to have self-awareness and control of your thoughts.
That's fascinating. I'm going to look into
It
that.
is.
Thank you for sharing. Positive intelligence. Wow. Have you heard of
Yeah.
flow states?
Yeah. So that's definitely connected in there with reaching a flow state. He calls a sage mindset.
Sage mindset. I hear that in flow, you are up to 500% more productive.
Mm.
That's actually how I found
Wow.
out about Montessori school. I was watching Stephen Kotler. He does, like, he gets hired by Fortune 500 companies to come and do seminars for his for the employees of these Fortune 500 companies like Google and Facebook, etc. So he was doing this seminar, and I was watching it on Facebook, and he said how, you know, these Fortune 500 companies hire me and I come and do these workshops. And he said, and some of them, he said, I think Google, I can't remember which one, but he said some of them even provide Montessori education for their staff students. And I'm like, I wrote it down. I'm like, what's Montessori education? And he also added that Montessori education or Montessori school is the most conducive to flow states. Which I find fascinating. And I would like to just really quickly try to give a really brief this definition of flow states. Or are you, either one of you, able to, in case anyone views this, or in case Ashley doesn't know what flow states are, is anyone, if not, I've got it here. So in positive,
It was interesting.
go ahead, Ben.
Oh no, it's okay. I was looking into this the other day, and flow state is when the brain gets into a state of transient hypofrontality. So you've got hypo as in less. So you're when you're in the flow state, you're using your prefrontal cortex. It's kind of shuts down. So it's like, the way I see it is you're tapping into your more subconscious part of your brain, as opposed to your conscious brain. And it's interesting because with things like ADHD, that's a thing that's like persistent hypofrontality, whereas flow state is transient hypofrontality. So, and I was thinking about that with ADHD, where people get into these hyper-focused states. It's almost similar to the flow state, I'm thinking. And, you know, there's definitely a relationship there in some respects, because you've got reduced use of that prefrontal cortex. Yeah, just something I found out I was reading the other day. I thought was interesting.
That is very interesting, worth exploring further. But so a flow state, also known as being in the zone, which we've all heard of being in the zone. We've probably all been in the zone. Flow state is the mental state in which a person performing some activity is fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and enjoyment in the process of the activity. I've heard to achieve flow, you kind of have to have a fine balance between or I can't figure out how to say it, but it is where it's not too easy for you, but it's not too hard. I want to say it's like 4% over your skill level, or 9%. It's probably not a number I should be messing up, but so the flow is just,
yeah, so that you're challenged but not frustrated. And
that's it. Challenge, yes. The Stephen Kotler, the guy who he has the Flow Research Collective. He's the executive director. He skis and gets into flow. He skis, and he used to surf, I think, and that's how he got into flow. And he talks about his friend that plays guitar to get into flow, and I play guitar, and so I sometimes jam out just to get into flow, because I would have never realized that was that state you get in when you're fully immersed in it. So I think school should also cultivate flow states in children, let them do what they love. And also like we can develop sort of overarching or integrated curricula where, let's say a child loves boats, they can learn about math through boats, about water, about all the wind, there's like overarching. I didn't do great justice on that example, but I think that the standardized testing and rote memorization, I mean, it's obviously not working. So I'm excited to explore all these new avenues. I mean, the possibilities are just, they're vast. And so Evolving in Education's mission is, I'm sorry, wrote this down. This is just actually, well, our mission is to improve the lives of students worldwide, and our objective is to create learning environments in which children thrive. And we have 5 focus groups: developmental neuroscience, psychology, mindfulness, fitness, well-being, childhood education, curriculum, nutrition, and other. And the other is for anyone, that would like to join regardless of their experience. But the nutrition focus group, that's to, we're just going to at every angle we can to improve these children's lives ultimately. Because like at our last nutrition focus group meeting, we learned, the gut-brain axis and how important the crucial role it plays on our mental health and overall well-being. It affects our gut health determines our mood. And so there's a lot of behavior that could be improved through better nutrition. And so we don't only aim to, we don't only aim to change things in school. I'm not saying, that the food that we provide in school is the answer by any means. I mean, they need healthy food in school, but additionally, we need to teach the children the importance of it, and we need to teach them how to achieve it. We need to make it more accessible. We need to find ways, community gardens, etc. Additionally, we need to educate the parents, the communities. We need to let these kids take this information home to their parents and provide resources to where they can get, I heard something about a city where they planted fruit trees all along the sidewalks so everyone could get fresh fruit. Now, I know that's not viable anywhere. There's only select locations, regions where certain fruit trees will grow even, but the community gardens, that's a real thing. We're seeing more and more of those, and I think that's fascinating. I've heard that we're all truckitarians, not all of us, but a lot of us. And that means, when you buy all your food from a grocery store, you're a truckitarian, and that's not sustainable, unfortunately. I know that. I apologize for getting so off topic. So in an effort to be mindful of everyone's time, we will move on unless anyone has anything else they would like to add to any of that.
can you just share about the focus groups, like how those are working, how you're connecting?
We have, like I said, 5 focus groups, but we have 4 focus group meetings per month. We omit the focus group other in the meetings, and we invite, everyone that would like to join any focus group to join all meetings.
Okay, so this is one right now.
Yes, this is the mindfulness, fitness, well-being focus group meeting. We have our focus group meetings every Wednesday at 6 p.m. And we alternate. Like the second Wednesday of the month is our developmental neuro/psych. The third Wednesday of the month is our mindfulness, fitness, well-being. The fourth Wednesday of the month is our nutrition focus group meeting, and the fifth Wednesday of the month is our childhood education. I just said fifth. I apologize.
That's okay, but I'm
Sorry.
sure we could find it on the Facebook page. Probably
we
found
do-
out about this.
Yes, but they alternate. Excuse me, guys.
That's really interesting.
I didn't mean to get so off track with my mental calendar. You didn't know there was 5 weeks in a month, did you?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, right? Okay, so, but yes, we invite you to join any and all focus groups. Everyone is welcome and encouraged to join. The focus groups are completely opt-in basis, and our focus groups are working towards our objectives. And so I guess closing remarks, call to action. I have a brief call to action for y'all. Mindfulness, fitness, and well-being play vital roles in enhancing the lives of students worldwide. These practices have shown significant benefits in reducing stress, improving focus, and promoting overall well-being. They contribute to creating positive and supportive learning environments where students can thrive. It's important to remember that collaboration and empowerment are essential in ensuring the success of mindfulness initiatives in education. By working together, we can unlock the secrets to success and empower the next generation for a brighter future. I encourage you to explore this topic further and consider implementing mindfulness, fitness, and well-being practices in your educational settings. There are numerous resources, research studies, and successful case studies available that demonstrate the positive impact of these practices. I encourage you to reach out to me with any questions, thoughts, or ideas that you may have regarding mindfulness, fitness, and well-being in education. I believe that even small steps towards incorporating these practices can make a significant difference. Thank you once again for your interest in this important topic. Let's continue to explore and promote mindfulness and fitness and well-being for the betterment of students worldwide. All right, so that was a little call to action. And that's all I have. Yes, just to sum it up, today we spoke of the transformative potential of integrating mindfulness, fitness, and well-being into education, because it improves overall mental health, well-being, cognitive function, focus, etc. So wonderful. I thank you all very much for joining. Would anyone like to share anything else?
Thank you for the presentation. That was really good. That was really clear and insightful, actually.
Wonderful.
Before you said that mindfulness thing, you said mindfulness is something to do with the stimulus, the gaps or something. Could you repeat that? I'm real interested in that one.
Yes, mindfulness is anything which extends the gap between stimulus and response. I learned that from the Flow Research Collective, I believe. Yeah, because that's where I learned of the gyrification or gearification, how MRI scans have shown that mindfulness increases the cortical thickness through gyrification. If you guys have,
yeah, cool.
Go ahead, Elvira.
I was going to say that on the positiveintelligence.com, they also have some research there that shows about, gray matter. And I think it's the same thing that you're saying, the thickening there, that the frontal cortex when you're doing mindfulness practices, and they have in their program just like short little mindfulness practices throughout the day. And I literally love that part, that it doesn't have to be like a long extended meditation practice. It's just can be these short little, like you shared about the breath. And actually that breath work, that short little one, like in the positive intelligence community, they do little things just like that, and they call it a PQ rep to build your muscles, your brain, mental fitness, they call it. But I really like what you shared about how physical fitness and mental fitness really go together. Yeah, I think that's so important, especially for kids. They're should be active, and we're having them sit way too much.
Definitely. And just incorporating the fitness breaks or dance breaks or, movement, just to get the blood flowing, the endorphins moving, all that, or the stuff. I can't think of the word. I apologize. So real quick, I wanted to add a couple things that you're saying about the mindfulness, how you can incorporate it in small doses. So I was reading something today, and it spoke of this classroom as they came back from recess and lunch, and the halls were abuzz, and the kids put their their backpacks and lunches in their cubbies. And the teacher called up, said, "Will our mindfulness leader for the day please come and sit down, come and lead us in our mindfulness?" And this little 6-year-old in polka dot pants and a heart-clad shirt walks up and sits down cross-legged on the floor, and she holds her hands open on her knees, and she starts repeating, "I am calm now." And she said, and quickly the whole class started following in, and the teachers, and they kept going, like, "I am calm now." And each time they said it, it got quieter and quieter. And then, in a few moments, not minutes, but really quickly, the whole place was quiet and everyone was being mindful. And I tried that today with my 4-year-old. She was having a bit of a day, and we did that "I am calm now." And it actually seemed to work. So that's a cool way to incorporate it in, have the children be part of it. And it's not only, and the teacher, like I said, the teacher did it as well. So it's not only helps the children, it helps the teachers, and helping the teachers helps the children. So why not? I found another thing I wanted to share today. I found during a bit of research, I found a K-5 curriculum for mindfulness, incorporating mindfulness into schools. And it is mindfulschools.org. They're a nonprofit organization. And it's so cool to see that that's already out there, And I've heard that there are lots of schools already doing this. So I just can't wait to see it be the norm. And
where are you located, Amber? I'm just curious.
I live in Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Northwest Alabama. Where are you from?
Well, most of my life has been in California, and I am now in the last 5 years living in Hawaii on the Big Island.
Cool.
I have family that grew up in Mobile, Alabama. I used to go there a lot in the summers to visit my grandma.
Wonderful. We're actually, like, Muscle Shoals is northwest, and everyone thinks, because it's called Muscle Shoals, they think it's on the coast.
Yeah.
I'm actually from California, though. I was born in Hollywood, California. I moved here about 31 years ago from there.
I think with like regards to what you were just saying about it's already happening in schools in some ways and some places, it seems like as part of your mission, it'd be great to bring together these different groups that are doing all these things and, have more power that way.
Yes, that's always been my mission with Evolving in Education, is to try to bring together as many people that are already doing all these things as possible. All of it, all the research, all the revolutionizing, integrating and it's definitely a goal. Unfortunately, this one organization that does a lot of mindfulness incorporated into schools. They do breath for change. I accidentally angered them because I spammed them on Facebook. I made the Degum Newfield Institute mad at me too. Both of those organizations have blocked me on Facebook. I didn't realize, sharing the mission statement in their comment section is spamming, but apparently it is. Hopefully they'll forgive that one day and they will come on board because we need them.
Yeah.
You live, you learn though. I've stopped spamming. I never meant to, to make anybody mad or offend anyone, but I sure did. I went to sign up. Have you heard of the Newfield Institute?
Which one?
The Newfield Institute, Gordon Newfield. He wrote Hold On to Your Kids.
Oh, I've heard of that book.
So the Newfield Institute is a child developmental psychology institution, nonprofit organization. And like I said, I accidentally spammed the heck out of them. I had emailed them and I never heard back. So I just, every time, I saw a post, I was told them about the mission, said I hope they join, whatever. And so I went to sign up for a conference they were having, and it was, I had to pay for my ticket and everything. So I paid and I got my receipt from PayPal, but I never received a link for the conference. So I emailed them and I'm like, I didn't receive a link for the meeting. And they said, we've tried to contact you for months about, not posting on our page. We've blocked you and you can't attend this event because you're coming here to solicit your organization. And I was like, well, no, I wasn't going there to solicit, I was just going to try to obtain the information they were sharing because they had a lot of great information in that. So they finally let me attend, but they said, I had to agree to all their terms and conditions, which I did, but I didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings or make anybody mad, but I was pretty upset when I heard that, because after that, I was like, would you guys ever like to maybe possibly work together in the future? We're trying to do big things. And they're like, we appreciate the offer, but respectfully, we decline ever working with you now or in the future. I tell you what, I cried when I read that email.
Yeah.
I got my feelings hurt, but it's my own fault because I spammed them, but I'm getting more professional.
Yeah. Yeah. And these kind of opportunities for more face-to-face
Yes.
talks, I think, are so important. I don't know, maybe inviting people to come and share. Like you said, you had one neuroscientist come and talk to a focus group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had presentations at 4 of our focus group meetings, and we have
it seems like a great way, maybe inviting them to come and share their stuff.
Yes, that's great. I should ask Gordon Newfield if he'd come and do a talk one day. That's a great idea. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, well, you guys, I think we're about at time, and if anyone has anything else they would like to share or add, if not, we can close it.
And then we'll just can message or post in the group and
yes,
continue the conversation there.
Yes, and we have our next focus group meeting next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
We have a presentation by a school administrator out of New York. He does social emotional learning. And I'm sorry, guys. I said I'm professional, and clearly I'm not. I want to show you guys just super duper fast. We have our website.
Oh, you said you were just bringing it online.
Yeah, just about got it. And I won't take much of your time here at all. I just want to.
And Ben, sounds like you're in Australia. Is that right?
Oh, New Zealand. Close.
Oh, New Zealand.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. That's me being an American with bad geography.
That's all right. It's like us calling you Canadians, So, actually, yeah, similar to that. Yeah, just in New Zealand here. Yeah.
Nice.
So you what? Yes, that's good. Yeah.
Can you guys see this? I just ran you through the landing page real quick. So we've got our volunteers. We don't have any money raised yet, but that's going to go up. And here's our campaigns. This is my first ever real website.
Beautiful.
Be the change.
Yeah.
Priorities. Here's more about our campaigns. I had a bit of an incident right here.
I really liked the quote from Nelson
Getting there.
Mandela.
$1 million. Oh, yes. I love that one. I went through, oh, here also we have our focus group meetings. The next focus group's on the 26th. Like I said, that's childhood education / curriculum. You can also access all our events through, oh, here we go. We have our quote here again. You can access all of our events through our Facebook page, the events section. And then here, I haven't added the links to them yet, but here we have all of our, or some of our collaborators and partners. So as you can see, it's a work in progress, but I'm pretty excited about it. We should be publishing that within a couple days. All right.
Yeah, great work.
Thank you. I had fun building it. I had the free website guys. They helped me.
Oh yeah, I used them before.
Oh, you did? Cool.
Yes.
They helped me set up the back end.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine that these, when you have, what did you call them? Presentations,
Mhm.
like expert presentations, that would be great to put as either a blog or a podcast or something.
Yes. I did a little bit of editing on one of them. I apologize, y'all. I can't figure out how to get back to the meeting. I edited I edited our head neuroscientist dynamic presentation, and created little clips with it, which was,
Yeah, that's a good thing too.
I'm not very good at the editing yet, but all right, you guys, I like I said, I apologize. I
Think
can't.
if it says stop share somewhere.
No, it's not there. It's supposed to be, but I think I hid the controls. Wait, maybe exit. There we go. Okay. All right, y'all. I won't take up any more of your time, but I really appreciate you guys joining today, and I look forward to seeing you again at another meeting sometime, hopefully.
Yeah, so thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, you
Take
guys have a
care.
wonderful day.
Take care.